We are officially smack dab into Week 1 of the NFL season, the moment all NFL junkies have been counting down since February. We have spent the last 7 months arguing about players, contracts, predictions, and anything else that would keep us occupied, but now it's time to see everything played out on the field. Every team has the ultimate goal of winning the Super Bowl at the end of the year, but only a few teams actually have a chance. Here is our list of Week 1 power rankings. Number 6. Jets. The start of 2023 was the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes, and the Jets came out victorious. It took forever. We didn't know if he would retire or where he would be going if he didn't, but after months and months of talking, we're at the start of the season, and we're about to watch it all play out on the field. The Jets and the Bills are in the most loaded division, so expectations are high. The Jets have been down in the dumps going back to the Joe Namath days, so there is a reason the excitement is so high around this team. Head coach Robert Saleh was a question mark coming in as a hire, but he has quickly won over his team and fan base with his genuine authenticity and love for his players. He has built a roster with young, promising players on both sides of the ball, such as Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, and Quinnen Williams, and they hope to be the team that turns this franchise in the right direction. The Jets were the subject of the 2023 Hard Knocks series, where cameras followed them around during training camp. Multiple teams denied the request to be featured as it has become synonymous with distractions and can take the players' attention off bettering themselves and instead put the attention on the cameras. So will this end up hurting the Jets in the long run? Or will they be focused enough to fight and claw their way into a playoff spot in the hungry AFC East? The Jets have the roster to do it, but do they have the culture? Number 5. Bills. The situation in Buffalo is tense. You might not see it from the team or hear it from the front office, but it's happening. They want to win. Some organizations might be right about having a great regular season and not making any noise in the playoffs, but not historically winning franchises. This is the problem the Bills are dealing with. They found their guy in quarterback Josh Allen and paired him up with a great receiver in Stephon Diggs, and they have lit the field up in the regular season, but that's it. Since 2019, the Bills have made the playoffs yearly but have only made it to the conference championship once. As a player, you want to win the big one, and when you feel like you have the talent to compete for a trophy, but you can never make it all the way there, it's not a fun feeling. So, will the Bills' locker room implode from the inside if things don't go the right way? The Bills have a very talented roster, so they could make some noise in the playoffs this year if Allen continues to take steps forward like he has, and the defense cleans up some of their issues. The Bills are in the most loaded division in football, so if they get off to a slow start, don't be surprised to see some moves happening somewhere in Buffalo. Number 4. Chiefs. If Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid stand on your sideline, you can win almost every game. At least, that is what it has felt like for the past 5 years or so. The Chiefs are coming off of a Super Bowl win, and while some may expect some Super Bowl hangover, some bigger stories may have bigger impacts on this team. The first comes from the Chiefs' defense and their anchor on the D-line. Chris Jones has been away from the team, seeking a higher-paying contract. Jones has been one of the more dominant defensive linemen in his time with the Chiefs, so some may applaud him for trying to get the money he deserves, but this certainly isn't good for the team as a whole. Jones has been away from the team during fall camp, and it looks very unlikely that any deals will be agreed to before the season starts. So, Andy Reid will have to start his first game without his leader. Another story breaking has been Travis Kelce and his knee. The star tight end and Mahomes' favorite target hyperextended his knee during practice on September 5th, and his status for their first game is questionable. Other than Mahomes, these might be the two most important players on their respective sides of the field. Will this cause long-term issues for the Chiefs, or will things clear up when we're off and rolling? The Chiefs will be a very interesting team to follow this year. Number 3. Eagles. The Eagles suffered a very close loss in last year's Super Bowl. Despite a little controversy over a pass interference call that set the Chiefs up in a great position to win the game, Jalen Hurts and his squad came away with the same thing as 30 other teams at the end of the season: a good job, and try again next year with a pat on the back. This team is hungry after getting a little taste of what playoff winning is like. The front office has done a fantastic job putting together a cohesive roster, finding their franchise quarterback, and putting the weapons necessary around him to succeed. The Eagles open up the season in Foxborough against the Patriots and look to make a strong statement against a team that has been up and down in the past couple of years. Number 2. Bengals. Cincinnati is rejuvenated. The fans are finally back to a place where they can feel happy about their team. A franchise that couldn't do anything right for years is finally on the right track. Pairing up generational talents and former teammates Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase was a great start to that process. Signing offensive lineman Orlando Brown to protect Burrow's blind side makes fans even giddier. Unfortunately, fans watched and held their breath as Burrow was helped off the field during training camp with a calf injury, so he was absent for some time. Should fans be worried? Well, Burrow hasn't completed a full training camp yet with injuries in the COVID year, so he's used to this charade. The Bengals offense should have no problem scoring, and they are bringing back a defense that ranked in the top 10 during the 22-23 season, so Zach Taylor should feel pretty good about where they are starting. Hopefully, this season will lead to less blue Powerades for Rob Lobster. Number 1. 49ers. The 49ers could argue that they have the best roster in the NFL. They are loaded on both sides of the ball with veterans who know what a locker room should look like. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and the D-line, just to name a few. This team had to fight and claw through quarterback injuries and still made it to the NFC Championship in 2022. Kyle Shanahan is a very respected coach who gets his team ready week in and week out with fantastic schemes that leave other coaches absolutely lost. The only question on this 49ers team could be the most important position on the field. The 49ers have not had good quarterback luck through injuries or draft picks not working out, but they might have found a secret goldmine. In 2022, the 49ers took quarterback Brock Purdy out of Iowa State with the final pick in the entire draft. Little did they know this would be their starting quarterback for the season's final quarter and into the playoffs. The coaches might not have expected it, but Purdy was certainly ready for his chance. After taking over in January, Purdy would lead his 49ers to 6 straight wins, surprising everyone and blowing up social media. Purdy would get hurt in the playoffs, and the 49ers would lose, but it was enough to earn him the starting job in 2023. But how will it work out? Did we see lightning in a bottle with Purdy, or is he an accurate quarterback you can consistently win with? Things will be different this year as teams have had an entire offseason to study Purdy and watch the film. And if you ask me, this will be a failed experiment. But Shanahan and the rest of San Francisco will keep their fingers crossed that they found their guy. So, how do you feel about your team going into the season? Did they make our list? There are always teams that will surprise us later in the season, but these are our top teams in the league now. We will update our rankings every week, so check back next week to see how things shake up after the first games are played. Subscribe, drop a like, and hit the bell to stay caught up on all things NFL.